I was wondering, how do you how does the corporate ladder of like investment banking look like? So like, how does the entry level position look like, and what plan or steps do you take to find
So with a lot of these large professional organizations, whether it's being an attorney or looking at investment banking, I think accounting is a similar way. They all use the Cravath model, which is an old school way. It's also called up or out. And what that means is, you get hired as an analyst, right? It's a 2 year commitment each way. So the bank, you're there for 2 years, and you either get promoted at the end of that to senior analyst, or you don't get extended and you're out, or you choose to leave on your own. But you can't just exist as an analyst there forever. It's kind of you're on this path, and within 2 years you got to make senior analyst, and that's a 1 year role. Then you get to associate, and it's got to be 3, maybe 4 years to get to VP level, and then from there another 4 or 5 years, depending on where you're at, to get to a senior vice president or director role. But by and large, it's they kind of decide that for you. It's like being in a pool where the water just keeps filling up a little bit more every year. So you don't. So that's just the first part of it. There's a set structure. Like, guys won't be an analyst for 10 years, right? Like, you're there for two, you get promoted or you don't. In terms of the actual ins and outs of getting promoted to the spots, at a junior level, so think analyst, associate, VP, it's showing that you can manage deal execution, right? Like, you don't necessarily have an origination role when you're there, but you are in charge of running transaction processes, being able to manage people younger than you, um, and showing that you have the potential to move on to being a senior banker. And then, the dichotomy everywhere is this junior versus senior banker. Senior banker is you're actually in charge of going out and winning business and having your book of business and being compensated directly on how much revenue you bring into the firm every year. So it's not exactly a commission system, but it's pretty damn close. Um, Pretty darn close. So, when to become the senior one, you got to show that you can do relationship building, that you can continually follow up with people, that you can identify a real opportunity versus a waste of time, and kind of all the things of being the boss, being in charge of your own book, because at the end of the day, you're not going to get compensated unless you bring in real dollar revenue every year.